Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Everybody who has subscribed, thank you for subscribing and continue to like and share my videos. I thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, guys. Um, I've been getting a lot of requests to do a video on my predictions of the new year coming 2020, y'all, because y'all know it's going to be an important year. So this video is not going to be doing the usual thing I do with psychic readings with the cards. So I'm going to be doing some of my predictions for the year 2020, some of the things we'll be seeing and some of the things we won't be seeing. So there's some things that are going to be happening that a lot of new things we're going to be getting. A lot of things are going to be leaving coming the year 2020. So 2020 is an important year because 2020 is like a portal year. When you talk about supreme mathematics, it is the year that represents culture and freedom. If you're talking about other types of numerology, some people say that it's a master year, depending on how you look at it. When you talk about, if you're looking at it from the view of supreme mathematics, you'll have 2020. If you add the 2 and the 0 and the 2 and the 0, you get the number 4. And when you're dealing with number 4, you're dealing with culture and you're dealing with freedom. So if you look at that in that perspective, when you're dealing with time and the time for culture to be presented in certain ways and the time for freedom to be presented in certain ways. That's something you need to think about when you're talking about entering the year 2020. Also, when you're looking at it from another type of numerology point of view, you'll have the 2 and the 2 of 2020. 22 is a master number. You have 11, 22, and 33 are all master numbers in certain types of numerology. So it's the year of the master as well. So these are some of the things I would say to research to get into more of an understanding about the time that we're in 2020 now. A lot of the reason why a lot of things are going to be finally really transitioning is because in the year 2012, everybody knows about the year 2012, about how we've been transitioning from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And now when you're talking about the age of Aquarius, we're talking about the information age. That's another name for the age that we've been living in, kind of starting in the early in 2000, definitely going into 2012, and for sure in 2020 we're now really getting into the age of Aquarius. A lot of truth is going to be coming out in the age of Aquarius that we're in now. So 2020, you'll see more and more truth coming out. And if you've been like paying any attention at all with all the things that are going on in the world in general, we're living in probably the most bizarre times I have ever seen in my lifetime. Just really strange and bizarre things happening. Things that you used to see in the movies are coming to real life. Things that you only would read in books are coming to real life. So this is like the indication that we're really getting good into the age of Aquarius, because the age of Aquarius not only represents information, but it also represents truth coming out and coming to the light. Because the Aquarius is the water bearer, and when you're talking about water represents information. So that's why they have the picture. When you're talking about Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius, you see the picture of the person bearing water, the water bearer. So they're bearing and bringing forth information. Okay, so that's why we have so much interconnection now with social media and things of that nature. You can get on Siri, Google, or any type of search engine and find all the information you want for anything. So that's the age that we're in. So with that being said, some of the things that you will start to not see in the year 2020, one of the major things that's going to be changing is the education system. This is one of the things in society that will definitely be taking a change in the year 2020. We're already been going through a transition of the changing of education and the educational system in America. If you live anywhere in America, you will notice, especially in the urban areas and low income areas, the public schools are slowly fading away. This movement started sometime in the year early in the 2000s, and as we can see, the public schools are dwindling, and you're starting to see more of what they call charter schools. Now, that was supposed to be part of you having a choice in where your kids go to school, but that's just how it was presented. The real thing is that what they're trying to do is take out, uh, eliminate public schools in general. And the reason why they're doing that is because of a couple of different reasons. First of all, the school curriculum as we now know it is becoming very outdated and obsolete. The kids now can find out anything that they basically learn in school online. Um, Unfortunately, that's just where it is. The schools are suffering. The teachers are underpaid, overworked. The staffing's low. It's very dangerous to go to schools in a lot of the inner cities. Even in the suburban areas, a lot of times the schools are just filled with things that kids should not be involved with. It's sometimes little to none education being going on, and that's one part of it. The other part of, and it's just the breaking down of it in general, you know. The other part of it is the fact that in the inner cities, people, the powers that be, want these buildings back. A lot of these school buildings are really, really old structures that were very, very well built, and they're in prime locations, a lot of them, and they are turning those old public school buildings, they want to own them so they can turn them into apartments and condos and make money off of them, because right now they're not making any money off of sending low income children to free school. So you're saying, well, what about the charter schools? Well, eventually those will be just like they transitioned the public into charter. The charter will be transitioned into private, and eventually soon you will have to pay for your kids to go to school. So that's some of the things that you're going to start seeing from 2020 and beyond. The new wave will be online school, and that's why it's been pushed so much from the year 2000, especially starting in 2012, and then beyond. Like now they're really, really pushing the online school, home-based school programs. So you will see more of this in the year 2020. This is going to be the new wave. 9 times out of 10, by the time 2020 and beyond, you'll see more kids going to school online, and you'll see more kids going to charter school. The public school system is going to be completely obsolete. You may have 1 to 2 charter schools in like a whole city. And it'll be specialized schools, most likely, like really, really or high rated schools that you'll see live. And that's going to be one of the things that's going to happen in 2020. Okay, another thing that you're going to be seeing a big change in 2020 and beyond is a lot of people working from home. There are going to be a whole lot more home-based jobs. As we already know, this is already happening. Same thing with the schools. These companies do not want to pay for these buildings that they're really not, they're having all this overhead for things, office buildings, having printers and computers and offices and fax machines and all these things that people now have at home. So their bottom line to make money, you know, to eliminate that overhead will be better for the people who own these corporations. So you will see more people working from home, less people working in office buildings, more people working out in the field, and more entrepreneurship as well. So a lot of people are just going to leave the 9 to 5 type thing altogether. And we can already see that because, look, when you go on the internet, when you go on YouTube, I mean, YouTube too, but when you go on Facebook or Instagram, eBay, like everything's for sale. Everything's for sale. And people are finding all type of niche, you know, products. They're finding, you know, these pockets of people who need specific products. And it's almost like we're going back in the time a little bit, like when back in the old days where you had specified jobs. You had shoemakers, you had people who just, you know, made jewelry, and you had people who just specialized in making different blacksmiths and different things like that. Those things are all kind of, we're starting to do those things again, where people have their own individualized home-based business, and they're feeding their families off of it, and they're not working for other people, but it's just like more in a modern sense. So something else you're going to see in 2020 are people, more entrepreneurship, more people working from home, and it'll coincide with the kids going to school at home. So it's going to seem, it's weird. It sounds kind of weird, you know, especially if you're somebody older and you're used to everybody going outside of the home. to go to school and work, and it's going to be more people staying at home. You're also going to see people having more community-based places where they will go and work, or send kids who go to online school who may cannot be home by themselves if their parents still work out, outside of the home and things of that nature. So these are more things that we're going to see in the year 2020. Okay, another thing that we're going to start seeing is do not kill the messenger, guys. Just the messenger. These are just predictions. You're going to see less religious institutions. This is because there's definitely a breaking down of the religious institutions. I'll start with just the Catholic Church to begin with. Way back in the early 90s and beyond, all of the allegations talking about the molestation and the pedophilia in the Catholic Church have been coming out again and again and again and again and again. And the Catholic Church is still here, as we can see, but the numbers have dwindled, and it's not as strong as it used to be. That's one of the examples I'm going to say, but people are becoming more and more woke every day. A lot of the way that religious institutions have taught the masses are becoming outdated. People are becoming more aware of who they are. People are becoming more educated. People are getting more into spirituality instead of religion, and people are starting to realize more and more that some of these texts that were given to us, not too long ago, a lot of those are getting outdated. Because people are starting to find out they're starting to discover more ancient texts and more ancient knowledge and more things where these things came from. So there's going to be a definite change when it comes to religious institutions. You're going to start to see less and less of what we know now as some of the three main religions of the world. So these are some of my predictions for the year 2020. I'm going to come back and do a part 2, guys, on some of more of my predictions. I'm going to get really, 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 really deep into it, guys. Okay? So I will see you on part 2.